Hi there, you. Thanks for joining me for this hopefully short tutorial video for a remote live directed voice acting setup or any audio collaboration for people who can't afford an ISDN line or Source Connect or any of those other paid services to get audio out across the internet to a client anywhere in the world. This is going to be a free setup. It's going to be Windows only and using Reaper as my DAW. That's my go-to DAW. If you're a voice actor, I think you should be using Reaper anyway. It's free. You can use the trial version for as long as you want, but I think you should pay for it. It's about $60 if you get some use out of it. It's amazing. Couple things though, before we get started, this is not going to be a useful setup if you are doing a professional voice acting gig with a client who's needing to record on their side. This is only going to work if you have a client or a collaborator who just wants to listen in and hear pretty decent quality audio and kind of monitor and give feedback and collaborate. There are other setups out there on YouTube, and I'll put some more information about those in the description. But the reason I use this setup is for a couple of reasons. One, I think it's the simplest to set up with the least amount of steps and the most reliable. And because you're using the ASIO drivers within Windows, usually results in the lowest latency. So with all that out of the way, I'm going to show you how it sounds and then go through step by step how to set it up. And if you have any questions after that, leave them in the comments or email me and I'll do my best to help you out. So this is my setup, okay? I have a track for vocals here and a track for music. So let's say you're doing a voiceover and you had some music or sound effects or something underneath. And that audio is going out through the Reroute plugin, which comes with Reaper installed. Then all of that is going out through Reroute. The regular out is going to my headphones, but the other one is going to OBS. So if I go over to OBS and you look here in OBS, you can see that I have one instance of audio directly from my microphone and one coming out of Reaper. It says Reroute, but you could change this to say Reroute or Reaper or your DAW. Okay? So if I played something real quick, that's music coming through Reaper. Okay? If I recorded something with my voice over that. Oh yeah. All new, double meat, double cheese, all vegetarian, all organic, super burger for only $9.99.99 for a limited Okay, you get the idea. So you could hear that coming through my mic directly as it was being recorded, but then if you were to play it back, you can also hear it going through this bottom meter here. All new, double meat, double cheese, all vegetarian, all organic, super burger for only $9.99.99 for a limited Okay? And all of that audio. So now we've got everything going to OBS. And OBS is great because you can share your screen so the client can see your session if you want. And you could share your webcam. And everything then can be directed to Zoom. All of that audio is going to be monitored and received by something called a virtual cable, which is just an easy, quick, free download. Then you go over to Zoom and you click the settings inside Zoom and you go to audio, same settings you would use for speaker. But the mic now is not going to be your USB mic or your interface. Now it's going to be that virtual cable I talked about. And then I'm going to jump over to Zoom to show you how well this works. Okay, so I'll start a new meeting and then I'm going to jump in and record something and just give you one small tip about how to make sure it sounds better than just the basic settings inside Zoom and show you how it works so you can see the finished result. Okay, here we go. Now I'm inside Zoom and I've started recording this Zoom session. And so now I'll play something back. Here's the music. And here's that voiceover over top of the music. All new,
double meat, double cheese. All vegetarian, all...
Now, you might be wondering why it sounds kind of gargly and muddy and not very high quality. Well, that's because this original sound button up here in the corner, I don't know if you can see this on the recording, but if you go to the top left-hand corner of Zoom, there's a button that says original sound. If you turn that on, so you're getting original sound is on, it will turn off the noise reduction inside of Zoom. So by default, Zoom is trying to get rid of any background noise because it assumes you're in a stuffy meeting with your tie. Ugh, gross. And it just wants to hear your voice and nothing else in the background. So if there's any music playing or a dog barking, whatever in the background, it's trying to get rid of that. But if you're in a decent room, your home studio, and you don't have a lot of background noise, and you're listening to this music here through Zoom, though, you don't need that noise cancellation. So now the audio quality is going to be increased, and you'll hear the difference now. Listen, because I've turned on original sound inside Zoom. So I can say, hi there, client. Let's do a take.
All new, double meat, double cheese. All vegetarian, all organic. Super Burger for only $9.99.99 for a limited time.
So that's it. Now I'll just go through step by step and show you how to set things up. If we jump over to the internet, you can see here, this is the download for the ASIO plugin for OBS, right? Download the zip file. You could just Google that. ASIO plugin, OBS Studio. This is the download for the virtual cable where we're going to send all the audio coming out or monitor the audio coming out of OBS. So it's going to act as an audio pathway, which Zoom or Skype can look at. Easy download and install. And if you want the client to be able to see you and your webcam, which is also going through OBS at the same time, you can download this virtual cam for OBS as well. So you could do something like what I'm doing where I have my face up in the corner and also sharing my screen. Not necessary, but something easy to download and have just in case you want it. When you download that and you go back over to OBS, you'll have this option for a virtual camera here. Okay, so let's jump back over to Reaper. So here we are back in Reaper. You want to make sure you have Reroute installed on Reaper. If you don't see it, when you click on one of these open, add new hardware slots, if you don't see Reroute here, then just update Reaper. Rerun the setup for Reaper, and there will be an option inside the setup wizard to include Reroute. Make sure you have the record monitoring off inside Reaper if you have direct monitoring on your USB interface. If you don't have direct monitoring on your USB interface, then you're going to have to use the monitoring inside Reaper, which will be slightly delayed. That's the only issue I can foresee with this setup. It'll be less delayed. If you have an interface, inside your interface, you can turn down the buffering size. The buffer size, the lower this is, the lower the latency will be. So mess around with these settings and see how low you can get it before you hear any artifacts or popping or clicking or anything like that, or dropouts. By the way, your driver settings will just be whatever you're used to using. Your USB microphone, your computer driver, or your USB interface. In my case, it's my Motu M2 USB interface, which is where this audio is coming from. This is my mic directly into my USB interface. All of this is going out to Reroute. It's also going back out to my interface so I can hear myself talking and I can hear everything coming out of Reaper, but it's also going to Reroute. So essentially the audio has been split. And if you go over to OBS now and you look here, I have, as I said, those two audio instances. One of them is direct from my mic. So OBS can hear my mic directly and monitor me when I'm not recording, and I can talk back to a client. And the other one is Reroute, which is all the audio coming out of Reaper. You won't be able to add this input unless you have downloaded that OBS ASIO driver that I showed you. The link will be in the description, but once you download that and install it, you'll have this option here, ASIO Input Capture. When you add that, now OBS will be able to hear all the audio coming out of Reaper. So if I play Reaper, now it can hear. Okay. The next step is to make sure these are actually set up so Zoom can hear the audio. And what we're going to do is click on Advanced Audio Properties. You can choose any one of these gears and make sure it says Monitor and Output. Now that the audio is being monitored, if we go into Settings and go to Audio, you can actually choose a monitoring device. And in this case, we're going to choose the Audio Virtual Cable, the other download I pointed you to. So if you have downloaded that VB Audio Virtual Cable, then this will pop up as an option. This says input because this audio is now going from OBS inputting into a virtual audio cable. It's a pathway for the audio to go somewhere else. Where? Well, we're going to send it to Zoom. When you go into Zoom, you go into the mic settings of Zoom, you will see an option, as I showed you before, for that virtual cable, and that's it. There you go. You're set up. If you wanted to use your camera as well, or show your screen, then you would also download the virtual camera for OBS. But not necessary if you're just doing audio only. That is it. So just to recap, you will have audio coming through your interface or your USB mic into Reaper, out through Reroute, then into OBS, monitoring with a virtual audio cable, which directs the audio to Zoom. And it works pretty well. I hope it works for you. Let me know. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments down below. Have a wonderful day and have fun recording.